The following is a presentation of the Pro Wrestling Report. Informative, entertaining, and real since 1998.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report post-show here live on Blog Talk Radio. Damian Nelson coming to you here from the Horny Goat Hideaway in southeastern Wisconsin. What an amazing night it was for the WWE Survivor Series. The Rock wins, a brand new WWE champion. So much happening on this pay-per-view. It was, without a doubt, amazing. And we're going to go over it match by match and talk about exactly what happened here tonight. Firstly, I want to thank all of our great fans from the southeastern Wisconsin area who showed up here at the Horny Goat Hideaway to watch this amazing pay-per-view event on the largest television in the Midwest, and our hostess with the mostest, Maria Kanellis, who was absolutely amazing tonight. And by the way, we haven't given you the last of Maria Kanellis. More information on that coming very soon here from the Pro Wrestling Report. And let's just use one word to describe it: Miami, Florida. This pay-per-view was the definition of, I think, the future in WWE and the future talents that WWE is going to be focusing on. And yes, indeed, I'm going to say it, one of those talents being Cody Rhodes with his brand new knee pads. Let's go over the matches as they happened tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and that was several championship matchups. The Rock returning to the ring in Madison Square Garden in New York City. The Rock getting the 1-2-3 pinfall victory over The Miz after the People's Elbow, which of course had to happen. But the real story of that match was the domination that The Rock showed, not missing a step at all, not missing a single step in his return to the ring for the first time in 7 years after his last match at Madison Square Garden back at WrestleMania 20. We're going to be joined in just a minute here by both David Hero and Maria Kanellis, our first big post-show guest. Going to be joining us here live in just a few minutes. But also on that matchup, as I said earlier, a brand new WWE champion. As CM Punk, who had his own personal ring announcer tonight in the Fink. I almost said the Miz there. The Fink. Howard Finkel returning to WWE ring announcing duties and was the ring announcer for CM Punk tonight, who is the new WWE champion. This had to happen in Madison Square Garden tonight, and it did. CM Punk, the new WWE champion. The World Heavyweight Championship was on the line as Sexual Chocolate, Mark Henry, took on the Big Show. Now, the Big Show actually winning that matchup, but he did so via disqualification, so Mark Henry retains the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And in this matchup in New York City, in Madison Square Garden, the fans had a mind of their own, and they voted, or cheered rather, and chanted not only Sexual Chocolate, but at one point in the match, Boring. At another point in the match, HBK. At another point in the match, Randy Savage. And then, of course, the man who will walk into Miami, Florida, and try to take the WWE Championship, the World Heavyweight Championship from Mark Henry, Daniel Bryan. This match slow at times, not as good as their matches in the past, but a good match still. And we apologize, ladies and gentlemen, if it's loud here. We're in the BFT, the big frickin' tent at the Horny Goat Hideaway for the WWE Survivor Series, doing the post-show here live. Big Show defeating Mark Henry by a disqualification, retains the World Heavyweight Championship in that matchup, and apparently it looks as if there might be an injury per se for Mark Henry, who after the matchup was attacked by the Big Show. Maybe this feud isn't over, maybe it is. We'll see coming up next month at TLC on pay-per-view. The only traditional Survivor Series matchup on the card pitted Team Orton up against Team Rhodes, Team Cody Rhodes, and everyone was talking about, as a matter of fact, it was trending on Twitter, Cody Rhodes has the knee pads. He is fully laid out and decked out now Cody Rhodes with the knee pads, and I think for a while there, even knee pads was trending on Twitter. Sin Cara gets injured in the matchup as he goes outside in a spot with Hunico, and it doesn't go so well. Sin Cara legit injured in that matchup. At his elbow, I'm sorry, not his elbow, but his knee or his ankle or something there like it. Injured in that matchup. Huge Cody Rhodes chance, and I'm not just saying that as a man who has endorsed Cody Rhodes. Huge Cody Rhodes chance. He was over in New York City, and let me tell you, fans, to be over in New York City and to be the man that Cody Rhodes is, that is a fantastic accomplishment. And we would see not only Cody Rhodes, but the team captain Wade Barrett, the last two men standing, up against the last man standing on the other side, Randy Orton, and Wade Barrett and Cody Rhodes winning that matchup, pinning Randy Orton, Team Barrett, Team Rhodes, wins. A great matchup, and I am pretty surprised actually at how the crowd was in to Cody Rhodes. And I tweeted out earlier that the Cody Rhodes bandwagon has left a long time ago, and I'm happy to be driving it. The Rock, we talked about earlier, he got the pin on The Miz, but earlier in the night, The Rock did a promo from backstage, and The Rock went as far as to honor the chairman of the board, old Blue Eyes himself, Frank Sinatra, who of course performed in the main event in 1974 in Madison Square Garden, amongst many other times that he performed in Madison Square Garden, and The Rock actually singing, New York, New York, live to the crowd there in New York City. Again, we're coming to you live from the Horny Goat Hideaway here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where the Pro Wrestling Report hosted a big pay-per-view viewing event with Maria Kanellis. I apologize for the background noise that's going on as people shuffle out of the venue here, but The Rock was really the star of the night here at Madison Square Garden for the Survivor Series. A Divas Championship matchup. It was a Lumberjill match. Beth Phoenix versus Eve. Beth Phoenix retains after the Glam Slam off the top rope. This match was a long one, but it was a big win for Beth Phoenix because I think it solidified herself. It solidified Beth Phoenix as the top diva in WWE, and the question still remains, between Beth Phoenix and Natalya Neidhart, who can beat them? Who can beat them? Who can dominate them? You got to wonder if this is a story that will develop into the return of Karma when she comes back. From her obvious situation with her pregnancy. Again, David Hero is going to be joining us in just a few minutes. He is with Maria Kanellis, and they are getting ready to join on here on the phone line to talk about the WWE Survivor Series. And I got to say this, Maria Kanellis, an amazing person and very friendly, having a lot of fun here at the Horny Goat Hideaway with all of our great fans that showed up. Hundreds of people showing up here tonight for the best pay-per-view viewing experience in the Midwest. The United States Championship was on the line as Dolph Ziggler went one-on-one with John Morrison. A strong "We Want Ryder" chant. Vicky Guerrero gets ejected from ringside after interfering, but that did not stop Dolph Ziggler from winning that matchup, defeating John Morrison, and retaining that United States Championship. And from there, what a lot of people asked for and what they said, which was "We Want Ryder," well, they got it. And Zack Ryder coming out and attacking Dolph Ziggler after the matchup, and the fans chanting along with him, "Woo, woo, woo, you know it," for Dolph Ziggler. You know, I got to say, the Survivor Series, while it was almost like a live event experience here at the Horny Goat Hideaway, it was a great pay-per-view show. WWE launched new stories in several directions tonight. You got to look at the focus and emphasis they put on Dolph Ziggler. You got to look at the focus and emphasis they put on Beth Phoenix, Cody Rhodes, Wade Barrett, The Big Show, CM Punk winning the WWE Championship, all tonight at the Survivor Series, which of course was headlined by The Rock, who just showed that, you know, I'm not sure it's ever going to get any bigger or any better than The Rock in WWE. And one thing I thought about tonight while watching this pay-per-view was, is The Rock the biggest superstar in the history of wrestling? Is The Rock bigger and better than Ric Flair? Is The Rock bigger and better than Hulk Hogan? That is a question that will be answered down the road. But one question that we definitely have is the man who performed Be the Booker a couple of days ago here from the Pro Wrestling Report, and DWHS, the fact that The Rock would win tonight. The Rock won, but John Cena did not turn heel. David Hero, what are your thoughts on the WWE Survivor Series tonight?
Well, Damien Nelson, the Survivor Series was a hash mark tremendous. Great show tonight. ADR retains the WWE Championship, which I thought was tremendous. Cody Rhodes did not win the 5-on-5.
I think you're mistaken. Were you watching this year's Survivor Series or last year's Survivor Series? Because CM Punk is the new WWE champion, and Cody Rhodes dominated with his knee pads tonight.
Listen, first of all, I was a little distracted tonight because I was sitting watching this interview with the lovely and talented hashtag or @ Maria L. Kanellis. And I'm going to be passing the phone off to her because obviously you have an attitude tonight, and I'm not looking forward to it. So here, I will let you talk to the original diva. Here's Maria.
Maria Kanellis is going to join us here on the post show. That is amazing. Maria, how are you tonight?
Fantastic. How are you?
You know what? I couldn't be any better. Having you here at the Horny Goat Hideaway, appearing and meeting all these great fans, it doesn't get any better than this. Maria, obviously you've been a part of WWE. You were the Diva of the Year in 2009. Tonight we saw that Divas matchup between Beth Phoenix and Eve. Beth Phoenix with the glam slam off the top rope. What were your thoughts? What professional opinion do you have to give on that match?
I love both of them. I think that they're both fantastic wrestlers. I wish that the crowd would get behind Eve a little bit more. I don't know why that's not happening yet, but Eve's a tremendous girl, tremendous talent. I mean, she trains with some of the Gracies, and she works her butt off in the ring every single weekend when she's at the house shows, before the shows, just trying to get better and better in the ring. And Beth, I mean, everybody knows Beth's story. So, I mean, for them two to have a match, I just wish I would have gotten more into it, and I don't know why that is, but it could have just been the storyline leading up, and that's all down to the writers. It's down to the people that made the story leading up to it. I always say that the girls don't have enough time, and I think that show tonight, too, is they didn't have enough time in the ring to build a great story and to tell us what that story was. I also think that they should have utilized the girls that were around the ring even more. I'm sure lots of people would have liked to see some of the other girls involved here and there during the match, but that finish was incredible. And I've taken that glam slam several times, many, many times on the house shows on the weekends, and that sucker hurts just in the ring. I can only imagine from the top rope.
Well, that Divas match was, of course, a Lumberjill match, all the Divas involved, but so much more happening tonight, including the return of The Rock to WWE pay-per-view for the first time in 7 years. One thing that was clear to me was it may not get any bigger or better than The Rock in WWE.
Never say never. I mean, for Rock, as great as he is, he started out just like everybody else, and that was from the ground up, learning and training and doing promo after promo and getting better and better. So I am sure that there is another Rock out there. It's just going to be who steps up to the plate.
Now, Maria, one big question, and I will preface this by saying I have endorsed him because I have an eye for talent, and I see him as an amazing talent in the future of the professional wrestling biz. But Cody Rhodes tonight, now he debuted his new knee pads, which a lot of people have been saying he needed for a while, but Cody Rhodes definitely shown in a positive light on the Survivor Series tonight, dominating with Wade Barrett over Randy Orton. Wade Barrett, Team Barrett winning in that matchup. What might you have to say about the son of Dusty Rhodes, Cody Rhodes?
I think that Cody just needs to be Cody. Sometimes when he's cutting promos, I feel like he's trying to be something that he's not, and I really would love him just to be himself and just to see that realness come out of him. Tremendous talent in the ring. Oh, my gosh, just amazing in the ring. But the person that I always endorse is Dolph Ziggler because I just think he's the future of WWE.
And Dolph Ziggler, an amazing talent. It's almost, and from being in the ring, of course, it's as good as the person you're in the ring with. And Dolph Ziggler makes anybody he's in the ring with look absolutely fantastic. And Dolph Ziggler deserves a lot of credit for that.
He definitely does. He does make everybody that he's in the ring with. And, I mean, we saw it tonight. He worked twice. And you've seen it on other pay-per-views that he will work twice, 3 times, whatever it takes. And he doesn't care, you know, if he's tired or if he's been gone for weeks on end overseas. He gives it every single thing he's got. And that's, you know, huge credit to him. And I remember being down at OVW with him, Ohio Valley Wrestling, and when we were training, and from there I could see that he had tremendous potential, and now he's getting to show the rest of the world.
And Maria, I understand big things happened tonight because sweet and sexy Miami, Florida, with the Pro Wrestling Report at WrestleMania 28, it just got a little sexier.
Yes, I will be there, and I am very excited about being able to join. And I'm excited about being at WrestleMania. This will be the first WrestleMania that I'll be at and get to see since I left the company. So I am excited to be there and excited to be with you guys.
Well, Maria, we're excited to have you. Thank you so much for coming up to Milwaukee and joining us here at the BFT, the big frickin' tent for WWE Survivor Series, watching it on the largest TV in the Midwest. A sweetie pie for sure.
Oh,
everyone loved you, and it was so great having you as part of this event. So, Maria Kanellis, thank you so much for joining us. I understand Monday nights in general, we can hear you on AfterBuzz TV, on AfterBuzz.tv, talking about WWE Raw.
It's AfterBuzzTV.com, and we're on right after Monday Night Raw, and that would be 8:15 Pacific time. I'm not sure exactly what it is here, but right after Raw. Just tune in. It's online, and we have an incredible time doing it.
Thank you so much, Maria Kanellis, now part of Sweet and Sexy 2012 in Miami, Florida, joining us here in Milwaukee at the Horny Goat Hideaway for the WWE Survivor Series. We want to welcome all of you joining us here in the chat room, all 300-plus of you joining us in the chat room on Blog Talk Radio, and the dozens, hundreds of you that chatted with us on Twitter tonight, all about WWE Survivor Series 2012. We're trying to get to some of those comments and trying to take some of your phone calls. As a matter of fact, we will be taking some of your phone calls. You can join us. The number is 347-996-5278, 347-996-5278. Also announced tonight is that the Pro Wrestling Report returns to the Horny Goat Hideaway for our next WWE pay-per-view event, which is the WWE Royal Rumble, which will be live on the biggest screen in the Midwest, the biggest TV in the Midwest. That is in January when the Pro Wrestling Report returns to the Horny Goat Hideaway, the best place in Milwaukee, in the Milwaukee area to watch a wrestling pay-per-view. And it happened tonight, a big kickoff party for the WWE pay-per-view events. Oh, you won't believe this, but Maria is giving me a massage right now, and I need it so bad. Thank you so much for joining us here at the Horny Goat Hideaway. I'm distracted. I'm live. I can't. Maybe it's time for a timeout. That's what we'll do. It's time for a break, ladies and gentlemen. This is the post show here on Blog Talk Radio, live from the Horny Goat Hideaway.
Don't forget to follow PWR right here on Blog Talk Radio right now. Be reminded of upcoming episodes and never miss Blog Talk Radio's most popular sports show. Follow PWR now. Stop stalking your ex and be our friend on Facebook and join the tremendous worldwide discussion. Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Report.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to the post show on Blog Talk Radio. Damian Nelson here from the Horny Goat Hideaway in southeastern Wisconsin, where they were an amazing host tonight to the WWE Survivor Series. Sitting next to me is the lovely Linda Kay. Linda, we had to take a time out because Maria was giving me a massage. I wasn't ready for all that. You know, I'm sort of shy. Well, anyways, a great night on pay-per-view, and we're going to get to a couple of your phone calls. Let's first go to, and again, we're going to acknowledge you by the area code from which you're calling from, and then please tell us your name and the city you're calling from. Let's first go to the 704 area code. Caller from the 704, you're live.
Damien, how you doing? This is Phil with Charlotte.
Hey, from Charlotte. You know what? In all seriousness, I'm not sure I can be any better than I am right now.
You know, I'm just like every other guy that's listening right now. We're all jealous and wish we were in your seat or chair or whatever you're sitting in. Since you're there, you know what? I have a question that I wanted to ask, and it's really off topic, but does she still keep in contact? Ask her if she still keeps in contact with Carmella at all.
She does, actually. Maria has stepped out as it's time for her to call it a night. But, you know, I got to say, I'll ask her that because we'll be talking to her a little bit later on when we have our Rumpelman shots. Linda's ordering those right now from with Maria Kanellis. But, yeah, you said, does she still talk to Carmelo?
Not Carmella. Back in the Divas search days when they had that meltdown on Raw where they each snapped on each other. But I'm going way off topic. I apologize.
That's all right.
Great pay-per-view tonight. I mean, Dolph Ziggler was awesome, getting to work twice. I agree with you guys. He's the future of the company. The last couple of pay-per-views, if I have to make a comment, because the pay-per-view was so great, I wanted to make a comment, though, on the last couple of pay-per-views. Some of these crowds are a little too quick, in my opinion, to start going into boring chants. I mean, the first match of the night, it's a Dolph Ziggler match. They're maybe 10 minutes in. And it's New York, you know. I guess because I've been a wrestling fan for so long, I take offense when I'm at a show or I start to hear that. A boring chant at the curtain jerker. I just didn't understand that.
Yeah, and they did chant boring during that Big Show and Mark Henry matchup. And, you know, it wasn't boring, but at its point in the card and the pacing of the show so far, relatively, it was boring. So I do understand. And keep in mind, we talked about this on Be the Booker. We talked about this on Primetime on My 24 Milwaukee. New York crowds, very vocal. They don't hold anything back. And you look back to the Survivor Series that have happened there in the past, 1996, 2002. They have turned on so many people that people thought were fan favorites. Shawn Michaels, and that's a great example in 1996. You can't dispute what the fans are saying, and what they were saying in New York City was boring during that Big Show Mark Henry matchup. And one other thing that was interesting during that Big Show and Mark Henry matchup was when Big Show went up to the top rope, what did everybody expect? Everybody expected that the ring would collapse again. Now, there's no way they were going to do that again, because one thing you learn in broadcasting and in entertainment real quickly is a special effect is no longer a special effect if you overuse it. They didn't overuse it tonight, but the anticipation that was built when the Big Show went up to that top rope was worth it in and of itself. Thank you very much for that caller from Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's continue on the phones. Let's go to our next caller from the 214 area code. Caller, you're live here on the Pro Wrestling Report Post Show.
Hey, what's up, Damien? Long time no hear. This is Rob from Texas. Dallas, Texas.
Hey, Rob from Texas.
Yeah. Wanted to comment and say that, you know, you guys are still doing a great job. I'm in love with Maria, Eve Torres, and Beth Phoenix.
You know, the Divas in WWE, while Karma leaving took a little bit away from it, have still been tremendous, especially what they've done with the anti-divas, if you will, Beth Phoenix and Natalya Neidhart. Let's not lose sight of the fact that was a great matchup tonight between those two divas, and that glam slam from the top rope, glam slam from the top rope was absolutely tremendous.
Yeah, it looked like Beth, when she took the spot, it looked like she had maybe damaged her tailbone or something. But you notice, like, towards the, I guess, like, after the match or whatever, she was like, I'm okay. And I was like, oh, man, I hope she didn't really hurt herself, because, you know, she's pretty hot, and watching her on TV is definitely an incentive, you know. So,
you know, I got to say this,
back.
Since she walked away, you might talk about other divas being hot, but damn, Maria Kanellis being here with us, whoo, baby, hot daddy. Yep,
I'm telling you. And the fact that you're a black man like myself and you got a massage, I worship you, and I will kiss King Booker Royal feet.
And I
All right,
didn't even
man.
have
You
to
have a
pay
good one.
for it. Thank you so much, Rob from Dallas, Texas. Let's continue on the phone lines. It looks like we've got a caller on Skype. And that caller name on Skype is Cat Ludi. Cat Ludi, you're live.
Well, Damien, how are you doing?
Tremendous. How are you?
I'm good. I just saw Survivor Series, and what is up with the good pay-per-views lately? Seriously, good SummerSlam, good pay-per-views left and right. Main event, Rock, Cena, awesome. Pass, 8-9, yeah, was awesome. I don't know, WWE is doing everything right. CM Punk, new champion, awesome. Hashmark, tremendous. Greetings from Germany, keep on going, and Maria, really? You're a lucky man, dude. You're a lucky man.
Hey, I'm lucky to be in the position I'm in. And this position I was in tonight was Maria giving me a massage. I didn't even have to ask for it. That's how sweet and beautiful she is.
You must have something going on there, man. I think it's, the bald head or something.
As Bill Clinton would say, I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Kanellis. Thank you so much for that call, all the way from Germany. Indeed, we love our international callers, but we also love our domestic callers, including one on a cell phone, it looks like, from New York City. Let's go to the 646. You're live here on the Pro Wrestling Report.
Hello.
Hello. What's your name and where are you calling
Tristan from New York.
Hello, Tristan from New York.
How you doing? I actually wrote a couple articles for the PWR show website.
Oh,
TV
tremendous.
24. Yes.
Tremendous.
I actually thought the show was great. Loved the Ziggler. I was a little disappointed that Ziggler got eliminated so quickly in the, the 5-on-5 match. I understood why. Obviously, he worked a long match with John Morrison. But other than that, I think the Divas, they need to give them more time on TV. You give them 2 minutes during the week, and then you want to go out there for 7 or 8 on a pay-per-view live, and it's like, it can be a little tough for them, I think it takes away from what they're used to doing. It's like they get winded quickly. Although,
yeah.
They're obviously very good. And Beth, they have athletes with the Divas, too. Beth is an athlete. Natalia's an athlete. Eve is an athlete. Some of them are just eye candy, but a lot of them are legit athletes, and they don't give them, that's the difference with WWE and TNA. They give the knockouts time during the week. Every week they're on TV for, their matches go through commercial breaks sometimes. WWE, you have a 15-woman battle royal and it takes 3 minutes. So, I think that helps. That'll help them if they give them more time on TV, get them better at the pay-per-views. Wade Barrett, I thought was great.
One thing, though, Tristan, I think to point out is, what do the fans want to see? They want to see the Divas. And tonight they saw all the Divas participate in that Lumberjill matchup for the Divas Championship. So the match itself wasn't bad. I got to give credit to Eve. I got to give credit to Beth. I'm sorry?
I didn't think the match was bad at all. I didn't think the match was bad at all. I thought it was actually a very good match. Usually, when the Divas match comes on the pay-per-view, that's to go get the beer, that's the beer run. But I didn't think that was all. I thought I was looking forward to it, but when I realized that it was them too, it was good because they're two very good athletes, both of them. That Phoenix and Eve are both very good athletes, so you can get something good out of that.
Awesome. Well, Tristan, thank you so much for the call. Tristan, one question for you. Did you make it to Regis Philbin's last show on Friday?
That I did not do. It's Christmas time. I got 3 kids. I got to work,
Got to do what you got to do. I'm going to take this time to give a tribute to Regis Philbin. Regis Philbin appeared at WrestleMania 7 as part of that. And, you liken him, William Shatner, and Howard Stern to, the greatest people in the entertainment industry who, no matter what happens, they're always in front of your TV and have a job. Congratulations to Regis Philbin, who celebrated his last show last Friday night, and it definitely transcends over to the world of professional wrestling, as Regis Philbin was a big part of it. Let's go to our next caller as we're taking your calls here on the post show for WWE Survivor Series on the #1 show, the #1 sports show on all of Blog Talk Radio. We're going to now the 973 area code. Caller from the 973, what's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Dave from New Jersey.
Hello, Dave from New Jersey. What are your thoughts on tonight's WWE Survivor Series?
Hey, I enjoyed it. It was a good, very entertaining pay-per-view. I got to, I watched it at a blast zone, and I came in somewhere around right towards the end of the elimination match.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing I really wanted to say was that you were talking about The Rock, and is The Rock the biggest thing to ever happen in wrestling? Well, there was also a major Giants and Eagles game happening, and there were a lot of football fans in there tonight that didn't seem to realize that The Rock was going to be on pay-per-view tonight. Then when he came out, I heard no less than 6, maybe 7, 8 people say, "What the heck, is that The Rock? Oh my gosh, it's The Rock. Look, it's The Rock." And a bunch of people diverted their attention from the football game to the pay-per-view. It was awesome.
You know, watching it here at the Horny Goat Hideaway, a new partner of the Pro Wrestling Report, and we're going to be back here for the Royal Rumble with this huge event, literally the largest television in the Midwest. You know, when The Rock came out, and a lot of people, same thing, there were volleyball leagues going on here. This place, you could hear a pin drop. Everyone stopped on a dime when The Rock was on that television cutting that promo at the beginning of the show, and they were mesmerized by the great one. And that really is why I asked the question. Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, those are pretty much the two names that you ask, maybe Stone Cold Steve Austin as well, if they were the greatest in the wrestling business. They were the ones that transcended most across all channels of entertainment. And I'm not sure there's anyone who's ever been better at it than The Rock, and I'm 100% sure that tonight proved that point. The Rock is not just WWE, but he is entertainment. And this Survivor Series, where The Rock returned to the ring for the first time in 7 years, was only a hint of what we're going to get in Miami, Florida at WrestleMania 28. It is going to be amazing. And I've been at the last 9 WrestleManias. And I tell you, Phoenix was great, WrestleMania 26. Atlanta was good, WrestleMania 27. WrestleMania 28 in Miami, Florida with The Rock, you got to assume he's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame as well. It's going to be absolutely tremendous. And he transcends not just professional wrestling, but the world of entertainment. And really, nobody's done that since Hulk Hogan did it back in the 80s. I want to thank you very much for that call, and all of you calling us here, being a part of the Pro Wrestling Report post-show for WWE Survivor Series. A lot of you want to get on the phone lines here. We've got about 18 minutes left in this show. We're going to go to the 210 area code. Caller from the 210 down near San Antonio in Texas. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, Damien. This is Justin from San Antonio. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. How are you, Justin?
Doing very well. Tonight, I really like the show. The Rock showed why that no one in this generation, as far as being a larger-than-life figure, can even compare to him, period. You know, the crowd was, of course, you know, it's a New York crowd. They're not going to like John Cena regardless, but it just felt different when The Rock was in the ring. You can tell that The Rock is a man amongst boys in the ring. You know, the New York fans are some of the smartest fans, you know, in wrestling, in my personal opinion, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, just like even the New York fans like chant names like, you know, Daniel Bryan, you know, Cody Rhodes, Zack Ryder, you know, loudly too and proudly. You know, if WWE were to go to Los Angeles, get those chants, they really wouldn't do anything. Chicago, Texas, they pay attention, but not too much. But since it's in Madison Square Garden, since it's in New York, I'm pretty sure WWE is going to take account on what the crowd was chanting tonight, like Daniel Bryan, Cody Rhodes, and Zack Ryder. And not to say that they're going to, you know, make them into the next Rock, but they're going to more likely start utilizing them as, you know, push them as new faces of the company. And I can definitely see WWE doing that if they do use them correctly.
Absolutely. Great points made. And, again, I think tonight Survivor Series was, let's not forget, WWE is well on their way to WrestleMania 28 in Miami. Everything they're doing from this moment forward is relevant to what they plan on doing at WrestleMania, and I think they focused on a lot of those quote-unquote young talents tonight and projected a lot of people as future stars, including, and probably most importantly, Dolph Ziggler and Cody Rhodes. Let's go to our next caller, calling us from the 202 area code. Caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
How you doing, Damien?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing all right. This is Brandon from Washington, D.C. I was calling. First of all, I just want to say, hey, love your show. You're a great host. Personally, I think you need to bring a Pro Wrestling Report to the D.C. area. Definitely, I get CW Network to bring it over here. So I would definitely see that on television in the D.C. area.
Brandon, I thank you for that, and rest assured, Brandon, we are in very deep discussions right now with the national syndication possibility with the Pro Wrestling Report.
Okay. And personally, too, I think you should take Michael Cole's job as well. Now, on to the show. It was great. Definitely, I would give it an A++. The Rock was fantastic. Personally, I would like to see, since CM Punk won, take a page out of the book from Cody Rhodes and please burn the spinner belt and bring back the Winged Eagle title. He needs to burn that belt and bring back the original. Bring either the Attitude Era or either the belt that Hogan had. It doesn't matter. But anything's better than that child's toy of a championship belt that the WWE uses. It is horrible, and it sucks. I've been watching this business since I was like 5 years old, and it's an embarrassment. You need to bring back the original belt and stop making this a game and a toy. That's my opinion. Oh, and also, too, Damien, I just want to apologize. I know 2 months ago I called in after, I think, the Bound for Glory report, and you called the 202, and I kind of dozed off while waiting. So, I apologize for that. But, hey, I'm glad I finally get a chance to talk to you guys. I love your show, and I definitely can't wait for you to become nationally syndicated. So can't wait for that.
Well, Brandon, thank you very much for the call. And really, in all seriousness, we only do this for all of you. It's not about the money. It's not about anything else. It's all about all of you, and that's why we do this in the post-show and all of the other broadcasts that we do each and every week. Brandon from D.C., thank you very much for calling in. I think I would be remiss if I didn't make this point. Now, I have endorsed him. I am a mark for Cody Rhodes, but I got to say, a lot of you are coming on board and realizing the potential greatness that a Cody Rhodes is. Linda Kay, who's sitting right next to me, said tonight that Cody Rhodes looked great. I don't know if it was just the knee pads or what, but Cody Rhodes is a future world champion in WWE, and tonight WWE proved and showed everybody how much they were behind the son of a plumber man, Dusty Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, because, I met Cody Rhodes, and I first discovered Cody Rhodes years upon years ago on an OVW show in Louisville, Kentucky, and from that moment, much like Heath Slater, much like Crimson, much like Dolph Ziggler, I endorsed him because I saw talent, natural-born talent right there, and tonight, Team Rhodes, where Cody Rhodes was the captain, talent shone through, and talent was presented on a grand scale. And it was amazing tonight to see Cody Rhodes get that admiration and get the respect of many of you fans out there. Minus the fact that I marked out for it, you got to admit Cody Rhodes, a great talent and a future world champion. Let's go to our next caller calling us from the 301 area code. Caller, you're live.
The story goes like this, Damien and Brandon. Before you get to the DMV and DC, you got to go through Dr. D. Darrell Johnson. What's going on, brother? Long time no see.
Thank you very much for calling. Pleasure to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the WWE Survivor Series?
I love the Survivor Series. I don't care what anybody say, and I agree with both of you. Cody Rhodes is the future of the company. My nephew Corey and I and the rest of the firm, shout-outs from sportsradio1340.net in Hopewell, Virginia. We really have been watching Cody since the days of him becoming dashing, and we saw it then that this was a guy that really had a knack for becoming the next world champion. And what would make that a special advantage is to see him versus Goldust. And I'm reading the tweets from Goldust. We could pretty much see this at WrestleMania. So I definitely endorse Cody Rhodes. And also, The Rock was just phenomenal. I mean, The Rock had, in spite of what some may say was the fact that there was no offense on The Rock's end as far as delivery goes when it came to Miz and Truth. I just think that seeing The Rock and doing what he did was the lead up to WrestleMania.
Absolutely. I sent out a tweet earlier that said WrestleMania starts tonight. The march to WrestleMania starts tonight. And, listen, there's one thing I look forward to every year. I take one vacation a year, and it's not really even a vacation, but it's WrestleMania. And this year it's in Miami, Florida. And the stories, and Linda's sitting next to me, the stories from WrestleMania, I've forgotten half the stuff that we've done and said and seen at WrestleMania than what I remember. And it's just an amazing night. And to see WWE take a step towards that new chapter tonight in realizing who these stars are. And again, along with Mark Henry, Cody Rhodes, Dolph Ziggler, they've been slow builds. And to think that those are two people that could be the future of the company, it's amazing. Yeah. But I will disclaim that with this. You look at an Undertaker, you look at a Triple H, you look at some of the bigger names in wrestling, you look at a Rock, you look at Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair. You then look at a Cody Rhodes, and you then look at a Dolph Ziggler. It's a different generation. It is a completely different look. It's a completely different style. They're not larger than life. They're not bigger than me even. And keep in mind, I may be big. I may not be that big, but I'm big enough to beat Chris Masters on December 3rd at Blizzard Brawl in Waukesha, Wisconsin, because he doesn't know what's coming for him. Linda, maybe it's time for me to disclose some of my trainers. I've been getting trained by the Black Pope, the Pope D'Angelo De Niro. Crimson has been training me. I had one training session with Cody Rhodes. It was brief. And all these people are setting me up for victory and sheer dominance against that bloated fool, Chris Masters, at Blizzard Brawl 7 on December 3rd. I can't – listen, this is going to be the biggest match in independent wrestling history when I annihilate – notice the emphasis on the H – annihilate Chris Masters at Blizzard Brawl 7. But enough about me.
Well, Damien, I'm sorry, but if you want to endorse that on our show, then by all means, brother, you know to hit us up on the Facebook, hit us up on the Twitter at Firm Wrestling, and we would love to promote it for you.
Absolutely. I love that. Sounds great. Rob from, thank you very much for calling in. Sorry, Linda, you're distracting me here with your, Let's go to the phone lines again, and let's go to the 251 area code. And you're live, caller from the 251. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, how you doing? This is CJ from Mobile, Alabama.
CJ from Mobile, the site of many a WCW, what was it, uncensored pay-per-view, right?
Yes. Well, let me tell you like this. Damien, I just want to say that I really love what you and the rest of the cast are doing up there. It's just total honor gagging to hear your show every night.
Thank you very much. Thank you for tuning in.
I got a chance to watch the pay-per-view from Hooters Sports Bar, and the biggest talk was John Cena and The Rock. And what was really talked about mostly, I want to hear your comment on this. Pretty much the push for John Cena, to go over to that larger than life section like The Rock, like a Stone Cold, but is also turned to heel towards WrestleMania.
Many people said, though, tonight would be that night. If John Cena was going to turn heel, tonight would be that night. I really was ready to see it and was expecting to see it, but tonight would not be that night. If not tonight, I'm not sure when, because the stage was set perfectly for it to happen tonight. And I really am sitting here right now sort of surprised that we didn't see it.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of my colleagues, Mr. Brian Price, I want to go ahead and make his name out there. He went off and commented that it possibly will be right at WrestleMania.
Sorry? Rock at WrestleMania?
No. He believes that after Cena possibly beats The Rock in his hometown, he's going to turn heel on that night, John Cena.
Well, and that's what's great about it. There's enough intrigue going into it that you sort of wonder what's going to happen. And I tell you this, not since Money in the Bank, maybe even not since WrestleMania 27, have I seen a hype and enthusiasm and an excitement going into a WWE pay-per-view as I saw tonight. I had the privilege of being in Chicago at Money in the Bank when CM Punk won his first WWE championship. And let's not lose sight of the fact that that was only a few months ago, and now he's a two-time WWE champion, that every pay-per-view used to be like this. Every pay-per-view used to be this exciting. Every pay-per-view used to have this anticipation, this build-up, this drama, this excitement, this anticipation. Tonight may have been the stage being set for the future of WWE, but you got to wonder and you got to sort of think that come tomorrow night on Raw, they may just screw it all up again. We'll see. I hope not. We'll see what happens. Arguably, TNA has been a good show as of late. People just need to realize it. Arguably, WWE has been a decent show as of late, but they really need to continue to focus those talents on the people they need to focus on. But at the same time, if you're WWE, you got to think about the fact that The Rock tonight had 17,000 people located right in the middle of the palm of his hand, and he dominated and owned that crowd without missing a beat. There will never be, Bret Hart says, best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. There has never been, and I would venture to say will never be, a superstar in the business of professional wrestling as big as The Rock. And that was proved so amazingly tonight at the Survivor Series.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just want to go up and say one thing. Gold team, bring it. Boots to asses. You have a good evening.
You said go team Cody. Good knee pads. Is that what you said?
Of course. You know it.
Thank you so much for the call, CJ from Mobile, Alabama. Let's go to our final caller of the night, and our final caller comes to us from the 517 area code. 517. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Damian. This is Eric from Michigan.
Eric from Michigan, thank you so much for calling in here to the post show on the Pro Wrestling Report. What are your thoughts on the WWE Survivor Series?
It was a pretty good show. I think overall they did a pretty good job, but I'm kind of wondering if this being WWE's home, if maybe they're going to take some of what the crowd was saying to heart and actually move forward with it. Like, Dolph Ziggler was actually getting some chants tonight, and it kind of shocked me, but New York is a wrestling town.
Yeah, New York is a wrestling town, and it is somewhat of the WWE's home. And I guess the question that needs to be asked is, while they did put the focus on some of the new stars tonight, how long will it continue? And Zack Ryder has been a great build. John Cena did an interview recently where he talked about why Zack Ryder deserves the spot he may soon be in. He took the ball, he ran with it. He did his own thing. He did not wait for somebody else to do it for him. He did not wait for WWE creative, if you will, and too many people blame WWE creative for their ill fates. But Zack Ryder, that crowd in New York, and I think location had a lot to do with it, but that crowd in New York was amazingly behind him. And my apologies if you hear my phone ringing, with David Hero is calling me instead of calling into the show right now. I'll get to him in a minute. But it's a new era, and you've heard WWE use that before. It's a new era. They've slept for too long on too many people. Tonight, Sheamus gets disqualified and is out of the Survivor Series matchup, but he had a tremendous showing. Big Show and Mark Henry had a good matchup. Mark Henry is the WWE champion. Dolph Ziggler, a prominent role, U.S. champion in WWE. Cody Rhodes, a prominent role, Intercontinental champion in WWE. CM Punk is the WWE champion. Really, when you step back and look at the champions in WWE right now, it's the new breed. It's the new series of talent in WWE that they are indeed focusing on. So many people have said that WWE is not building enough new talent. Well, I challenge you to look at the current role of champions and the current roster of champions and say that again, because they really are, and they're giving these people a chance. Don't lose sight of the fact that it was The Rock and John Cena versus The Miz and R-Truth tonight. That is huge because it could have been The Rock and John Cena versus, let's say, Triple H and Undertaker. Who knows? But tonight, they elevated a lot of talents, and I think that really is a hint of what we're going to see at WrestleMania 28 in Miami, Florida.
So I have one more question for you. How bad was your audio there? Did you actually get to hear the crowd?
Oh, we heard the crowd. Absolutely.
Okay.
I heard them cheering for Cody Rhodes.
I want to. This is why the show is passable for me, but not as fantastic as everybody makes it out to be. John Cena was too loud. Like, you could hear him saying, "Go to Miz, go to Miz, go to Miz," you know, and like all this stuff. And then like I'm sitting there watching. I'm like getting hyped for The Rock to come back in, and he's like, "Tag Miz, double suplex." Sure enough, tag him, double suplex. And this is one of those. Oh, sorry, go ahead, sir.
No, I didn't quite hear all that, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did happen. But, you know, I'm not sure it took away from the actual event because The Rock was in the ring.
It was killing me. John Cena's got this problem, and it's especially bad on pay-per-views because they have the ring mic'd up so well on the pay-per-views just so you can hear the action over the crowd because the crowd is so intensified. When you have these kinds of things happening, I sit there and I wonder, when John Cena was in OVW, did they not tell him how to call spots properly? Like, you look at Cody Rhodes or Dolph Ziggler, these guys all must have learned very well. Like, these guys are the new breed right now. These guys are the champions, and they don't give away anything in their matches.
Right. Well, thank you so much for that phone call. We're going to go ahead and drop you there, and we're going to go to David Hero, who's joined us again. David Hero, the Survivor Series tonight, WWE new WWE champion in CM Punk. I think Cody Rhodes and Dolph Ziggler and Zack Ryder got amazing endorsements, if you will, tonight from WWE. Big Show defeats Mark Henry, but Mark Henry retains the WWE Championship. John Cena is practically booed out of Madison Square Garden, which is no surprise. But The Rock is really the star of the night. Tonight's Survivor Series, man, I tell you, I don't know if it was watching it on the largest television in the Midwest at the Horny Goat Hideaway or what, but it was a great pay-per-view, at least from my perspective.
You know what? There was a whole lot of stuff going on. You know what? We can talk about all the other stuff tomorrow night on ESPN Radio, but tonight it's about The Rock. That's what the show is about. You know, once and for all and never again, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, that guy, he could go. When he first started off, he showed the world that, hey, you know what? I still got it. I can keep up with you guys. And you know what? He did a great job. It's like he didn't miss a step. Like, you know, 7 years, heck, it could have been 7 weeks. That's how good he looked tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? You know what? It was good. I mean, honestly, and you know what? I like CM Punk. I'm disappointed that he won the belt back tonight.
Alberto Del Bore not able to do it.
You know what? It's not that. You know why he's Alberto Del Bore? Because they've done nothing good with him. What have they really given him to make him be that top star? Yes, they gave him the belt, but they haven't developed his character. They haven't given him nearly enough as they've given Zack Ryder more TV time than Alberto Del Rio lately.
Yeah. How about Cody Rhodes? David Hero,
you know what?
Ask you, he had the knee pads on tonight, and I'm telling you, I was a bit overwhelmed by the amount of fan feedback, positive fan feedback we got about Cody Rhodes tonight. What do you have to say?
It's amazing what happens when you put knee pads on a guy. You know? It's like, you know, but hey, I know that on the Beat the Booker, I picked Team Orton because I thought for sure that they were going to try to build up Sheamus and Batista Jr. and whatnot, but I'm really glad that Team Barrett won because Barrett and Cody, they needed it because those two guys have been kind of stuck. They've both been getting their butts kicked lately, and it's been a great jumpstart for both of those guys. But I tell you, who would have thought you'd see knee pads or even what? They're not even knee pads. There's something on his knees for Cody Rhodes. Amazing. You watch. This is going to be the turnaround. That is the one thing Cody Rhodes was missing his entire career was not having knee pads on. And look what happens. He wins in Madison Square Garden over Randy Orton.
And I
on the undercard of the Return of the Rock.
Right, exactly. And I haven't mentioned it yet today, but nobody can dismiss Cody Rhodes chants that were going on in Madison Square Garden tonight. And listen, I don't think there's any difference. I was at Survivor Series 1996. That was the first show I was at Madison Square Garden. You were at Madison Square Garden for WrestleMania 20. It's a different atmosphere there. It's a great crowd. Grail. It's the holy grail of WWE, and for them to be embracing such stars as Zack Ryder, Dolph Ziggler, John Morrison. Well, John Morrison to a degree, Cody Rhodes, The Rock, obviously, booing Cena out of the building, of course, loving CM Punk. It really tells you, I think, what the worldwide audience wants out of WWE.
You know what? Madison Square Garden is the measuring stick or the litmus test for whatever the WWE plans on doing. And, sitting there watching the pay-per-view with Maria, she kept smiling every time there was a big chant, in Madison Square Garden. She kept saying, "I love New York." She goes, "That is a great crowd. That crowd knows what they want, and they tell us what they want." And it was electrifying. And you know what? Yeah, a lot of it was because The Rock was there. But you know what? Let's not forget, that crowd was hot from the beginning of the show. I mean, Dolph Ziggler comes out, and right away, the show was off to a great start. Even the Big Show and Mark Henry, this is what now, their third match? It's hard to keep that match fresh with two big giants. It's hard to do new stuff. And every match they've had, they have found ways to make it new and interesting. And now, once again, you watch, I'm willing to bet they're going to go into TLC pay-per-view in a chair match because that's what how they were going with it tonight. And that should be, the end of that feud. But, boy, they did a great job. Was it the best pay-per-view of the year? No, that's still, as far as I'm concerned, it's Money in the Bank. Absolutely. But, boy, what a hot crowd. And that crowd was into the Del Rio CM Punk match. They were into The Rock. For as much as they cheered The Rock, they booed John Cena. I mean, who would have thought that The Miz and R-Truth would be booed less than John Cena?
And that is the point of the night. And David Hero, of course, out on Facebook, we asked everybody to judge this pay-per-view, whether it was a pass or a fail. And it's what they call in the political field a rout. I've never seen such a lopsided vote. And you got to attribute this to not only The Rock, but CM Punk winning the WWE Championship. David Hero literally, and with no exaggeration here, no Fox News spin, 99%. And I don't mean the 99% squatting in a park in Pick a City, USA, but 99%. 99% of the respondents on our Facebook page voted this pay-per-view as a passing grade. There's never been a pay-per-view to get such a favorable mark as the Survivor Series did tonight. We've been to many a WrestleManias before. Tonight, the Survivor Series had a bit of a WrestleMania feel to it. And I tell you what, going into Miami, Florida for WrestleMania 28, now included in part of Sweet and Sexy and other events to be announced, Maria Kanellis, David Hero, wrestling is on its way back again. The question is, will WWE screw it up as they did after July with the surgence of CM Punk?
Listen, I don't care what they screw up after July as long as WrestleMania is going to be hot. Because I tell you right now, sitting in that suite with Maria is going to be tremendous. And there's going to be more shenanigans going on as well. But listen, The Rock, you got to figure Stone Cold Steve Austin's going to be at WrestleMania. It's going to be amazing. And you know what? It's a different atmosphere. It's a different show. Everyone brings their A game to WrestleMania. So they can try to screw it up all they want. They won't be able to.
Tonight at the WWE Survivor Series, of course, The Rock returns to the ring, and he's victorious with a rock bottom on The Miz. A brand new WWE champion.
Who took the pinfall?
A brand new WWE champion in CM Punk defeating Alberto Del Rio, and Cody Rhodes gets his comeuppance, if you will, gets his big spot with those knee pads and dominates with Wade Barrett, Team Barrett defeating Team Orton tonight. Dolph Ziggler retains the WWE United States Championship in a matchup over John Morrison with Zack Ryder getting involved. Overall, tonight's pay-per-view, David Hero, I agree with the masses. I agree with the 99%. It was a solid pass, and what an amazing night here at the Horny Goat Hideaway in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The Pro Wrestling Report will be back in January for the Royal Rumble, watching it on the largest TV in the Midwest. Damn, just what a great night. That's all I got to say.
Lots of shenanigans, and man, I can't wait for the Rumble. It's going to be crazy.
Don't leave, David Hero. Linda's buying you shots of Rumpelman, so we got some more time.
Absolutely.
Got more time here at the Horny Goat Hideaway. I want to thank you all over the world for joining us here on the Pro Wrestling Report post show on Blog Talk Radio. We'll see you tomorrow night for the Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN, streaming live all over the world here on Blog Talk Radio and ESPNMilwaukee.com.